Welcome back, Broncos fans, for a new episode of Four Core Sports, where we dive into the delectable world of Western Michigan sports. I'm Joey Hartzell, the lead sports reporter.
And I'm Jack Mennicke, the sports editor.
And today is our first episode of the new semester, and we are talking about the women's basketball team.
Yeah, let's dive into the apps. W is currently 6-8 this season, 3-1 in conference play, and they finished non-conference play at 3-7, so kind of turning up in the conference, much needed, if you will. Broncos have won 3 of their last 4 games, all of those being conference play. And yeah, they're second place in the MAC right now.
Diving into the main course, in their last matchup, the Broncos defeated NIU on Saturday by a score of 61-57. The Broncos struggled early, scoring just 5 points in the first 8 minutes of that matchup, but ended the first quarter down 16-14. And then freshman Evan Carrier really took over for Western in the second quarter, scored 5 points in 73 seconds and had 8 points total in the quarter. And that really helped keep the Broncos in the game. They were only down 1 at halftime and then tied the game up at the end of the third quarter. And the rest of the way, the Western defense really just took over, allowed just 9 points on 31% from the field in that fourth quarter, and Hannah Spitzley led the way for Western Michigan, scoring 20 points on 6 for 10 shooting from 3. She was great, really started to get going after Carrier had that strong stretch in the second quarter.
Yeah, I think that Carrier stretch was, when you look at how the game played out, I think that was really impactful for the Broncos, having scored just 5 points in the first 8 minutes of the game, and then Carrier scores 5 points in the second in 73 seconds, and then 8 points. You mentioned they scored 9 points in the fourth quarter. She scored 8 points total in the second quarter herself. So I think that little burst kind of maybe ignited Western because they outscored NIU in the second half, which won them the game. But yeah, Hannah Spitzley, she's been a rock star this season. Coach Clipfell often mentions her as a blue-collar player, gets those steals, gets those chippy points. 20 points tonight.
Moving into the sides, that's a great transition moving on from Spitzley, because her and Maria Asensio have really led the way for Western this year. Backcourt duo has been great. Asensio is averaging 13.9 points per game, and Spitzley's averaging 11.9 herself. Asensio leads the team with 4.8 assists as well, and Spitzley leads the team with 2.7 steals per game. So that backcourt has really just kind of been a do-it-all, kind of do everything for Western Michigan, which has been huge for that team. I mean, they're really the engine of this basketball team.
Yeah, and you hit it right on the head with the engine, because in the last game, what we just talked about, Spitzley, 37 minutes out of 40. Asensio, 35 minutes out of 40. So Clipfell's really relying on his 2 star players to kind of carry the load for the Broncos. And you saw they won that game, so they're doing just about enough as they need to do to carry this Bronco load. And speaking of Clipfell, that moves us right into the desserts. Western Michigan faces Toledo next on Wednesday. And Clipfell, is just 1 win away from tying Fran Ebert for most wins at Western for a women's basketball coach. That record is 179, so Clipfell's at 178 and has a chance to tie that on Wednesday against Toledo. W started 3-1 in MAC, like we've mentioned. This is just the first time they've done that since 2021-2022.
That's all for another episode of Four Core Sports. Good luck to head coach Shane Clipfell and going for that record. And I've been Joey Hartzell.
I've been Jack Mennicke.
Let's go Broncos.